Hello and welcome to MGP259. I'm Kev, and with me as ever, the sheepdog Anna and Pab. Say hello, boys and girls.
Hello.
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 In a week's time, we'll be getting ready for Comic-Con. Yeah. No podcast next week, boys and girls, because we'll be on our way to Comic-Con almost. Oh, I'm so excited about Comic-Con. Did I mention Comic-Con is next week?
You didn't, and I can't wait.
It's the most wonderful time of the year. Been singing that all day because Comic-Con's coming.
I've just found out, as you heard, that I thought I needed to get back and go to bed ready to get up at 4, but I've actually got to go home and get up at 2 to go on my holiday. So my plan for Comic-Con is to buy comics to then read on the holiday that I'm going on.
Interesting.
Good plan.
Our plan is to eat a big pile of meat at Bodine's
I'll be
and
doing
then
that.
go on the London Eye.
By Sunday lunchtime, I'll be swimming in meat.
Well, we're going to swim in meat on the Saturday night. If anyone wants to come and join us at Bodine's, by the way, you've got until midweek to let us know. Otherwise, we'll just have a meaty threesome.
Yeah.
That sounds so wrong.
What?
Yeah.
That's exactly what will happen.
Yeah.
How are we all on this fine week, anyway?
Very good.
Right.
Splendid. Well, that concludes this week's podcast, and I'll see you in 3 weeks' time.
Why 3 weeks?
I don't know, I assumed if Sheepdog was on holiday, we were missing the next Friday as well.
Oh, that'd be
What?
good, because, gives you an excuse, doesn't it? Run hiatus.
I love an excuse.
No, it's alright.
Hey.
You've missed more than one before. And you wouldn't have even played any games, so technically you have to come back for a
that doesn't have any impact on whether or not you should do
that
the show.
hasn't affected the podcast in about a year. But I will have read a massive stack of popcorn, I nearly said then. Comics. I meant comics. I don't know why popcorn came to mind. And I can regale you with glorious tales of wonder from my trip. Plus, I've played phone apps and Pokemon Go and stuff, which...
Actually, we should probably do a show without you, because I may have promised when I was applying for your press passes that we'd do a podcast about it.
Oh, okay.
So we probably should do a podcast about it.
Yeah.
So we'll do something. We might even sit and record it while we're down there if the mood takes us. Who knows?
I was going to say, to be fair, I'd forgotten that it was the post-Comic-Con episode. We kind of can't miss that anyway, can we? Yes, sir.
Exactly. Contractual obligation. So it'll just be the 1 week off. And because we'll be travelling down, and I'm excited. Has anyone played any games while I just sit and bounce in this chair because I'm so excited? No, right? Yeah. Podcast really is over then. Cracking.
I didn't hear what you said. To be honest, I was watching a chicken doing something weird with its wings.
You was watching a chicken do something weird?
Yeah, I was bouncing up and down on my chair.
It's walking around in circles, flapping its wings with its chest held high like it's rock hard. It's on Reddit.
Must be good
then. Are we cracking on to the gamey bit next?
Yeah, Sheepdog.
I did ask if you'd played.
Oh, I didn't hear. Oh, well, that's what you said. You didn't tell me that's what you said. I've been playing Injustice Gods Among Us 2. Although it seems to be called Gods Among Us Injustice 2, which is an odd way to word it. But yes, it is epic. It is amazing. It is so, so cool.
Have you been recording the cutscenes for me to watch on YouTube?
Do you know, I was just watching a cutscene about an hour ago and I thought I should probably be streaming this. Because there'll be lots of people like you who would want to watch it. It's a great story, though. I'm loving it. And the characters seem much more alive and close to the characters that we like. I've been... It sort of does the usual thing of alternating between the different people as they're all in different places, and Oliver Queen and Black Canary, they're like husband and wife with their baby at home, and they're just brilliant. I was loving it, the little quips and comments, and just them being them. It was great. It's got a really cool mode for seeing the multiverse. So Batman's got a machine called something like the Brother Eye, and it allows him to basically sit there and look at every single, well, not every single universe in the multiverse, because there's not a screen big enough, but any that have something going on in them. And that's basically the game's way of giving you a load of standalone sort of skirmish missions to do, where it'll just say something's happening on Earth 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and you just go there and you're fighting a slightly different a slightly different Catwoman was what I thought earlier, a slightly different Harley Quinn. She had a rougher voice, she'd have the squeaky New Yorker voice. So it's just, I think it's a really clever way of giving you much more variation in the characters, what they're wearing, how they talk, what they do, whether they're good or bad. And obviously you can just keep playing that and building up new, you can customize your characters, basically. So when I did one, I unlocked Savitar wings for my Flash to put on his hat. I don't really know, on his mask, sorry, I don't really know what that does, whether it makes him go faster or what. But it does make him look a bit cooler. And yeah, you could just basically, when you do all these missions, you unlock more cool things to just level up your players. I'm really enjoying the story mode on it. Although I'm a little bit confused because I read the comics and I played the first game, obviously, and it carries on from that perfectly, but it randomly at the start did a flashback where it just kind of the first game didn't have Robin in it, did it? Did you play it, Pab?
I haven't played it at all. Just because I don't like fighting games that much. But
watch it on YouTube. That's all you need to do.
Yeah, I think
I'm pretty sure that Damian Wayne wasn't in the first one. I'm almost certain. And yet, at the start of this one, they just kind of retconned in a mission where Batman and Damian went to Arkham Asylum, and Damian ended up just siding with Superman and going off on their merry way. And he's kind of like, then he's telling people in the present day that his son's in prison and so forth. And I was thinking that never happened, and that didn't happen in the comics. It was just like they were trying to find an excuse to have him in the game. It's fine, they did also have Supergirl's origin story in it. I'm trying to remember so the origin of Superman and Krypton being destroyed and all of that, I thought that was a war with Daxam or other people, but these guys are implying that Krypton was destroyed by Brainiac.
I imagine it's been destroyed a gazillion different ways, a gazillion different times. Who knows?
Okay, well, in this universe, yeah, that's how it's happened, and Brainiac's the major villain of the piece. But it's much more. So I felt like the last one was fight, the occasional cutscene. This is like a film where every now and again it lets you do a 90-second fight, pretty much. I mean, part of me wonders whether you'd find it frustrating. I suppose if you put it on very easy, you'd just waltz through it, actually. I've got it on medium. I don't really know why I did it, but it means that a couple of the fights so far, I've just been slaughtered the first time I've done them, and then the next time I've been able to win it. But if someone like you, if you stuck that on very easy, you'd get through it in an afternoon, and you'd just have the wondrous story. So I do think if you do get it through on the review, like you were saying, then yeah, I think you'll so far love the story. Yeah, all the usuals are there. Flash and I think so far I thought it was Flash, Harley Quinn, Batman, and the Queens. And then there's been lots of awesome bad guys. Gorilla Grodd's in it, he's really cool. Yeah, I highly recommend it. I think it's amazing.
Splendid. Well, hopefully my copy will arrive this week and I can give you my views on it in 2 weeks' time. Pab, continue.
I was going to say it does look good, but I've been very tempted, but I just don't like fighting games that much.
You can stick it on very easy and just waltz through the fights.
Yeah, but then again, I'm just either going to watch it on YouTube or I'll just wait for it to come down in price. I've got the other one. I've got the other one in a sale, so I'll probably play that one first. Does it continue straight on from the last one?
Yes. What I would suggest though is perhaps read the comic series.
Right.
I think it's got 5 volumes to it.
Yeah, I did see somewhere there's a complete collection now.
Yeah, and I mean, I really enjoyed the comics. It went a little bit weird in like Volume 4 or Year 4, as they call it, because suddenly all the Greek gods and Norse gods and all of this were just getting involved. There's just that big old war going on, and suddenly you've got all these random gods getting involved in the battle, and you're thinking, well, now it's got a little bit overpowered and weird, but they kind of all just, I think they run their course on that bit of the story and they crack on with everything else. It's just, I guess, they've got to explain where anyone who's ever been involved in any part of the DC universe ever was during this fight, and that's pretty much what they did. But and I'm pretty sure I'm certain again that there's a new comic series coming out alongside this game, which I'm looking forward to.
Oh yeah, I imagine so.
Yeah, I've not started that yet. I think it's already out. If it's not, either way, I've not started it. But it's a great sort of universe. I wish this was the cinematic universe that they chose to make with the new people. It should be building up to something like this. This would make it, mind blowing. I think people would be really, really like into it, and it would flip the tides again for Marvel versus DC on films.
Do you think they'll have costume stuff when the Justice League and what have you comes out as DLC?
It would seem mad not to, and I still always play DC Legends. It's part of the reason, and it's going to sound like a really weak excuse, but when I'm at home and I'm on my phone, I play DC Legends to death, then play Tapped Out, then I'll be watching telly while flitting between the two of them, and then I haven't played any games, and I'm like, oh well, I played them, I enjoyed playing them, but I can't talk about that on the show because obviously it's a pathetic little app, but that is made by Warner Brothers as well, and they do all the film tie-ins. Wonder Woman's mum's a character. She's Diana, isn't it? Is that her name? I can't remember.
Diana is Wonder Woman.
Oh no, it's not Diana then. Hang on.
I can't remember.
I'm confused now because Diana was somebody Hippolyta is her mum.
Yeah.
There's one in Injustice. There's Wonder Woman, and there's, I'm sure, Diana is what they called her, and that's why I assumed Mum, because I thought it's a similar name.
It's probably just Wonder Woman with her normal clothes on.
No, because
has she put a pair of glasses on?
No, because spoiler alert, she's a baddie in the Injustice universe. She's on Superman's side, and the character that Supergirl was talking to wasn't a baddie.
Well, she's probably from another planet in the multiverse, and that's one of the planets where those two became a couple.
No, because they weren't a couple. Obviously, the whole plot is.
But they could have got together afterwards. 5 years have passed now, haven't they?
Well, that's kind of they haven't got together, but she sides with Superman because she understands him and has a bit of a thing for him, I think. But they don't get together because he's too enraged about the death of his wife. Maybe I just misheard, or Diana or something like that. Although that's Black Canary's name, isn't it? Or
Dinah.
That's Dina.
Dina, yeah. So they might have said something completely different, and I'm just But Hippolyta then was the character they added into DC Legends, along with they've got like the Harley Quinn from the Suicide Squad. They've got Joker from the Suicide Squad in there. Yeah, I mean, like they look like them. They're not just sort of, it's Joker. It looks like what's her name? Bloody hell, Robbie Margot.
Margot Robbie, yeah.
Sorry. What? I thought to myself, Margot's not a name. Robin is. So her name must be Robin Margot. I knew I had it one way or the other. That wasn't intentional. But the character looks like her. So if they're doing tie-ins for that, and they've got an app for Injustice 2 as well, which you can tie into the game, and then it unlocks stuff for you. So I did that earlier. I can't imagine they'd miss an opportunity to combine them.
Especially with all the unlockable, like the stuff that you can get in the costumes and the different parts of costumes in that game.
Yeah, because they've got like parts that represent all the niche little bits or all the big crisis events.
Yeah, colours, skins, like different masks, different capes, different like gloves. It's just like it's insane how much customizable, and it's all abilities, not abilities. You know, like there's certain levels to each item as well. So it depends. It affects how
yeah, the Saboteur wings are at level 3, so I couldn't put them on to see what they did.
Yeah,
they just looked cool. But yeah,
yeah, that seems cool as well.
It suggests, and I can't see how yet. Maybe I'm just not that far, but somewhere in the bits I was reading, and I'm sure a listener will correct me, it says that you can decide how the battle goes, like almost like you can dictate who's on what side, which is a little bit odd, unless it makes you decide 50-50 who you're going to pick sort of thing. You surely always just put them all on the good side and then it make the end really easy. But I've noticed during the battles, like Bane and Gorilla Grodd were both going to attack, and I had a choice between fighting as Arrow or Black Canary, so I did one and then the other in the 2 fights, like swapped them over, and obviously that changes to dialogue and that sort of thing. But I'm hoping this isn't another instance of me reading the words they use and interpreting it as like I did with I had No Man's Sky when it was saying like infinite opportunity, and I decided that meant anything in the universe could happen, whereas they just meant it went on forever.
You're a strange one. We need to give Sheepdog some reading lessons. What else have folk been playing this week then?
I bought Dragon Quest Heroes 2.
Which you described to me as an old game.
Mm-hmm.
It's an old game, isn't it?
No. Came out in April.
Which apparently classes it as an old game.
No, I think it might have been out in Japan a lot sooner, though.
I don't know. So I know about Dragon Quest Heroes because I got the builders a few, like last year maybe, and I found that fun. It's like Minecraft but with story, and I liked it. So I decided to go down this route, and it's not like Minecraft. It's like a slash and hack kind of game, but in that pretty Japanese style kind of.
Is it a bit like Dynasty Warriors, or?
That's what I've heard. I've not played that game, so I don't know.
Hyrule Warriors or something like that, you know?
Yeah, but it's kind of like, so you start as a boy or a girl, just like pick whatever, and then you're told this prophecy, and you're like, okay, and then someone starts, like, your whole country is not, they don't fight because of this prophecy, but then another town starts fighting and starts a war, and then you have to go and help and help out, and it's basically like sections. So you go to, so there's open world bits, and these open world bits are just full of enemies that you just go around and kill. It's not hard or anything, but it just gets you experience and like items and stuff. But then the story element, you go to a section, and then you've just got that section to play in, and you have to, like, one of them I had to escort the king through an area, and there was enemies coming left, right and centre, so you had to make sure he was alive, plus leaving him to go and kill the enemies that had portals spawning the monsters. And it was hectic, but it's not hard. So you've got power, you've got spells, as it was, right, but they're not like normal just ice spells. You've got ice spells that will, like, they come out of your, like, swords or your whip or your bow, and it's mental. It's mental. I've never played a game like it, and it's just like, this is fun. I could play this a lot. So I have played it a lot, but it keeps telling me, like, in the Final Fantasy games, in the early ones, you would have to change class. Right. And that used to annoy me, because if you wanted to change class every time you did a new one, you would start from level 1, and that would annoy me no end. And this does the same. So instead of like getting like halfway through the game, and it tells me I need to be an archer or something because I need to use a bow and arrow for certain parts of the quest I'm doing. My sword, my warrior, is at level 13 now, and now I've gone to like using like bows and stuff, and she's now at level 7. I'm thinking if I get 3 or 4 of them leveling at the same time, maybe it won't be so bad when I'm halfway through the game and I've got like a level 50 character and my archer is level 1. You know what I mean? That's going to be so annoying having to go back. But it's fun. I can't explain the game very well, but it is very pretty. It has enhanced for the PlayStation 4, so I don't know what that means, but it has enhanced graphics, I guess. But it's bright and pretty and just nice, just like the old Final Fantasy games that I used to like to play that were just going around. Like in Final Fantasy, I think it was like from 9, where you just walk around and just randomly get into battles in the same area. You won't go off to a different area to just do the battles. This is just there, and then there's like hundreds of them, and your actions take out like 4 or 5 of them. It's not a single like hit. It's just like, there's your sword, but then your sword got fire and ice coming out. It's mental. And then you get like these big enemies, but it's like a big blue blob. It just bounces around. Like it's got a crown. Is the king slime or something? He's just there, just bouncing about, and you just like, I'm going to hit you a few times. It is fun. It is, I'd say for kids, but it says for not under 12s. So I don't know why, but if you like them old kind of Final Fantasy games where you just walk around and hit things, then this would be good, because it has like the spells and you level up and you do all these things. Like one of the people has what are they called? You know them? You know in the old days when they used to have them, like you used to count on them.
An abacus.
Yeah, he has one of them as a weapon. Like, who has one of them for a weapon? It's mental. Like, it's so strange. But yeah, it's pretty, it's fine. I'll get through it, and then I'll go and get the one that was out 2 years ago and play that. It's just something. I was just getting a bit tired of everything being like or in space or future, or I just wanted something that was pretty and just I could get through without really thinking about it. Even though I did die within the first hour, well, that was because I wasn't listening to what they were telling me to do. And there's another thing. If you're playing it without earphones, it will talk to you through your controller.
Yeah.
I like that. That's.
So what's it saying to you though?
Like whatever's going on the house screen.
Down, Anna.
Huh?
Burn the house down. Burn more. Sorry. Just being a knob. Carry on.
Okay. Why do you always do that when it's me? It's so annoying.
I don't mean to. You just say things and I just think... It's because I'm listening when you talk. But when the other two talk, I go about my business.
I see. So that's fun. I have played a really old game this week. Like really old. And that would be called, Loco Roco.
When did that come out? Like 2 months ago?
No,
January.
I played this.
It's a PS2 game, isn't it?
Yeah, I played this on my PSP. This is years old. I think it's like...
The PSP I smashed in a skip?
Yeah. 2006, I think this game was out, and I played this. And I loved Loco Roco. And I loved the second one as well. But Loco Roco, oh my god, this game is mental, right? So, you are... I don't even know what they're called. You're a loco. You're a big round ball of mush, and
Yep. You've met me.
and your world is just all just like really happy, and there's loads of you in your different shapes, and you're just nice. And then these like black squishy things start eating you, and it's like, we've got to kill they're like look like spiders, but they float, and they want to eat you and stuff. So you go around your little worlds, but the only way you get around your worlds is either using L2 or R2. That's it. It's the only buttons you need to use in this game. Yeah, only buttons. I don't think you use any other buttons except for L2 and R2. And when you press them, your world tilts. And because you are round, you roll, basically. And then if you press, so say you're pressing L2, but you want to like do a little hop, hold on. Yeah, you hold down the L2 and then you hold the R2, but then you let the R2 go and you do a little hop to the left, which is quite nice. And it's just bright and beautiful. And you have to go around collecting these plants, and the plants make you grow bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger. So you're a bigger ball, and you can collect more because you have to collect these little bugs. And then as you're going around, these like holes that you can't get through, so you have to press circle. There you go. You do press another button. You press circle to divide it into however many plants you've got. So say you've got 11, you will split into 11 different individual balls, and then they'll fall through the little thing that you need to get through. You also come across like these sleeping creatures, or there's a number, and if you've got that number, if your ball is that big, again, you split up your ball into that many, they jump on top of each other into like a little pyramid thing, and then they start singing, and when they sing, it comes through the controller, and it's like, oh, you're so sweet, and they're so pretty and so nice, and just like, so this is like a game you could play with anyone and they would just feel happy. It's just a nice, happy, fluffy game, and it's now on the PlayStation 4. It's just mental, and it's so sweet, and it's just bright. So it's just, everyone get this. It's just so cool. And now at the moment I'm playing Wasteland 2 Director's Cut.
Oh yeah. Because
I don't want Fallout, I'm not done with it, but I just don't want to play that at the moment. But I want some post-apocalyptic kind of thing, and I have played this game before.
Yeah.
And I only got, like, I'm looking at my progress for trophies. I have 2.
Wow.
2. Okay. And one of them was I pushed a button and it ended my game because I was like, oh, what does this button do? And as I blew the world up.
Yeah.
That was fine. And then the other one was when I got sheep to follow me. I was a sheep whisperer, and they followed me, and that's the only 2 I have. And they're both, so I've got a lot to do in this game. So I just started it again, just going through it, because I can remember there was like pod people in it, and giant fruit flies. So I'm going to go back to them for a little bit and see how we go on. Because when I did the button thing, I was playing it for maybe an hour, and it's like, ooh, a button, let me press it. Yeah, don't do that, because you die.
Because you review games properly, you've reminded me that I didn't mention facts like despite only playing it for 3 hours, I seem to have unlocked quite a few achievements on Injustice. And there's something else you were saying about it being pretty. I suddenly thought, Kev, did you ask for an Xbox or PlayStation?
Either.
Because I was looking at it wondering, it has like a HDR 10 setting, but it says that my Xbox can't do that.
Yes.
Sorry?
Yeah. You need an Xbox S for that.
Yeah, of course. So what I was going to say was, like, if you can get it on the PlayStation because you've got the Plus and you've got the 4K telly, I already think it looks amazing. Like, the Flash was just walking around doing something, and I was just staring at the screen thinking that it looks so clear and awesome, and it made me want to get a 1S to just see how much better it can look. But if you can get it on a PS4 when your review comes or whatever, I think you'll appreciate that. So you just sort of reminded me of those 2 points I wanted to make earlier on.
Marvellous. Pab, what have you been up to?
Well, I'm still on the PlayerUnknown thing at the minute.
Never heard of it.
It's driving me kind of insane. I just kind of get dragged on most nights. Just get dragged on. Everyone's going, we need an extra person. I'm like, oh, right, okay. I'll boot it up one game. 4 games later, still going. It's a game that I want to get better at, but I kind of hate it at the same time. It's such an adrenaline rush, such an amazing thing when you get a kill, when you get close to the end of the game. But when you dropped in from the plane onto the island, and you die within the first 2 minutes, you're like, well, that was a waste. It's just so frustrating. I think I finished second in a team earlier in the week. Our team ended up going into some tunnels. I'd died at this point, obviously, so I was just spectating then. And our team went into the tunnels and stayed in the circle underground, sort of thing. So the perimeter they were still in the perimeter, but they were underground. And there was another team above ground in the perimeter. And at a certain point, basically, the circle comes to a complete standstill, and it's not going to go anymore. And it goes for another 5 minutes. And then it just starts shrinking to the size of one person. So it's basically the last person standing. At that point, our team died out because it went through a wall. The barrier went through a wall where they couldn't get to. So they died off. So we finished second, but that wasn't bad. I will probably continue to play because, like I say, I do want to get better at it, but it's just... I don't know. There is something to this game. If you've not seen it, just literally click on the YouTube and someone will be playing it. Click on Twitch, someone will be playing it. It'll be trending on YouTube. You don't have to search for it. I imagine it'll be on there. Everyone's playing you at this point. That's why Kev's not even playing it. It's insane. What else have I played? I've gone back to Horizon Zero Dawn. That is. Yeah, I started playing that again. I wanted to see what it looked like on the 4K telly, and it is genuinely stunning game. I was playing it. It is just jaw dropping. Just wow, okay, yeah, this is amazing. The lighting in that game is just something else. Everything's just so cool. I find it a real slog though at times. I mean, tonight I spent an hour playing it, and I moved about 200 yards. Mm-hmm. I literally cleared out a what's the mine's going blank now. What's the red stuff called? The red corruption. I've cleared a corruption zone out or something like that. And that I spent the hour doing that. That's all I did. I shot a big fire-breathing fella. What's he called? The big one, with like a green tank on his back, big dragon-looking thing.
I can't remember.
Fire breather. He's a pain in the ass, but I did get him eventually.
Well done, you.
It's quite a good feeling when you beat something like that. A big old dragon. I just wish. This came out at a similar time to Zelda. Zelda just lets you just run at things and just run past things and go, not interested, I'm going over here, I don't care, I'm running this way. This game, you've got to be a lot more stealthy, you've got to think about how you get into certain places. I just started running today and I realised I'm just in the middle of a field full of the enemies, and there's just enemies everywhere in this game that can kill you and will kill you, whereas Zelda, enemies see you, they'll shoot some arrows at you for a bit, they might chase you for a little bit, they'll give up, and you're away. You're most of the time faster than them. But this game, you can't really get away from them as easily. You get pounced on, and they chase you, and they'll breathe fire on you and all sorts of stuff. You've got to be a lot more careful with how you're getting about the world.
That's what I got annoyed about. That yes, there is areas where you just do what you need to do, but then there's areas where they're everywhere and you have to stealth it, and it's just like, I don't want to walk around being covered in grass for such a long time just to get to A to B. Yes, there is fast travel, but when you do fast travel all the time, you miss out on a bunch of stuff that I don't want to miss, but I don't want to be stealthing all the way around. And especially when, like, I got to the main city that there is, and then there's like, these are just side missions, but these side missions are like all the way across, not to places I haven't even been yet.
Yeah.
And then you go up there and like the levels are really high, and you're like, oh, for goodness sake, like now I have to go and go over here and level up so I can go and do that. And some of the side quests are hours long, literally so many hours.
I mean, I looked today because I died doing that cauldron the first time, and I realised there was a quest to clear out 2, not cauldrons, the zones. I had to. I forgot what they're called again. Bloody hell.
The black, the dark areas.
The
corruption.
Corruption zones. That's right. I've got to clear 2 corruption zones as my quest, and that is a. I don't know what level it is, but I'm a level 14, and the corruption zone I wandered into was level 18. I only found that out the second time I'd loaded into it. I went, right, okay, that's why I died. I then looked at the map, and I'm like, wow, okay, I'm playing basically in a third of the map here, and it's taking me forever to get anywhere. I've not even got to half of the map yet. It's just insane how big this game is. I didn't realise it was so big. I mean, it's big what I'm doing, just running like north to south, just going across this third of the map.
Mm-hmm.
There's so much more for me to play.
Yeah, I've only done 2 Tornex, and I believe there's 5. So
really, I was thinking that I've done 1. And I was thinking, there must be another one knocking about somewhere. I thought there must be about 20 to 30 Tornex. So there's 5.
I think there's 4 or 5. I'm not entirely sure, because obviously the map is not fully open, so I don't know.
It's a good point.
Yeah, so you don't know until you're in that area, if you know what I mean. So you'll get, is it maps or something, and then you open the maps, and then that will show you on the map where they should be. So I've only done 2. They're so good to go up. I love doing them. But again, there's only 2 of. Like, I've only done 2 of them, so it's a bit of a. Ugh. But yeah, it's such a big game.
I really enjoy what I'm playing at the time. When I play it, I enjoy it, but I find it a real chore to make myself force myself into playing the game. Like, oh, okay, what was I doing? Oh, I've got to sneak around here. The grass thing is getting on my nerves a little bit now.
Yeah.
This tall grass, this similar sort of tall grass that's yellow, but I can be seen in that. I step across to the left in the red stuff. No, nobody can see anything.
Yeah.
The yellow stuff, everyone sees me. You're like, come on, just make it tall grass. I can hide in the tall grass, just simple as. Don't make it just the red reed grass that I can hide in. But anyway,
but it is pretty.
Oh, it's amazing. It's really cool. Like I say, I turned it on today.
Nice.
The sun was coming up, and there was like, oh my god, this is amazing. This game.
And
this
the
game
thing is,
looks awesome.
There's no load screens.
No, there is a hefty load when you first load into the game, but that's it pretty much. So yeah, it's cool that I really do like the game, but I just need to force myself to play it more. Mm-hmm. I did that with The Last of Us. I forced myself to play it in hour segments because I hated the control, how it controlled in that game. But
really?
the story was pushing me along, and I just, by the end of it, I didn't want it to stop.
Yeah.
And like I say, but the early stuff on, I just found the controls were intuitive and everything like that. So I was like, just play it in 1 hour chunks. Just put it down for an hour. So you sit down at 8, take it off at 9. You play an hour, and by the end of it, I wasn't even bothered about that. I was forced myself to get into a rhythm of playing it and get used to it. And I probably need to do the same with this, really. But yeah. One last thing I've played it very briefly, but it's very good. It's a game called Flint Hook. It's from the people who made Mercenary Kings. I've got it on PlayStation. And it is a roguelite. It reminds me of something similar to Rogue Legacy. You played that one?
Dirty, horrible game.
Yes.
You don't like Rogue Legacy?
No, it's horrible.
It's Rogue Legacy that night
The one where you're constantly repeating yourself, but this time you've got arthritis or a
I love
colour
that
blindness.
game.
Yeah.
I played this for hours. That game.
Yeah. Well, this game it reminds me of that in a sense of like how the route. You are a space pirate, and you are going getting bounties from these certain like ships that you're landing in on, and you have a loadout with certain number of like weapon item slots that you can carry certain perks out each round, and then you basically got to patrol around these basic ships or what they are, and the way you get around these ships, you have like a grappling hook, and so you get around with it. You sort of hook onto these little like hook things around the rooms, and there's like, I'd say probably 10 to 15 rooms in each ship sort of thing. And then there's like you go around a room, there's like a treasure room, there's a puzzle room, there is like an enemy room, there's usually a boss room, and you've got to just wander around this entire like area. It's like you see the map in the top corner, so it's like there's a door here, so you can go up there, there's a question mark up there, there's a door here, door down there, left, right and centre, and it basically finds your way out to the final treasure room where you basically you open the treasure chest and you get teleported out, and then with the money you buy items and perks and certain things that carry over to the next basically are permanently with you, because once you die you've got started all over again. I've died after getting to the second ship. I think I did the first ship and then I died in the second ship. Because it's punishing. It's not an easy game, but obviously this is where the getting the currency, playing it over and over again, getting the currency, improving your skills, improving your items that you have, and the actual, I think the game itself is just really cool. The actual mechanism of like flinging yourself across these little rooms is really intuitive. It feels good to do it, and there's like a slow-mo button on the trigger, on left trigger, so you can like a slow-mo timer, so you can like slowly dive around like laser beams or big saw blades or enemies that are shooting at you and stuff like that. It's a cool, nifty little game. It's from like I say, it's from people that did Mercenary Kings and a few other things, and I will continue to play it because it's kind of cool, and I just like to play it every now and again, just something to do, drop in, drop out sort of thing. So yeah, I'll probably have more on that probably next week, but because I'll play a lot more of it by then, or not next week, the week after.
Splendid.
That's it. Awesome.
I've not played anything other than
You lie.
What have I played?
You played Hot Wheels.
Oh, for like half an hour. It was fine.
Yeah. Fine.
Yeah, it was fine. What we said last week, perfectly fine.
Wheels.
The Forza Horizon 3 Hot Wheels expansion thing.
Yeah.
It's alright.
Good.
The physics upsets me a little bit in it. It doesn't feel like it's proper Forza physics. So that troubles me a little bit. It's not made me desperate to go back and carry on with Forza Horizon. I will at some point, but it's just too time consuming. There's too much of it. Too big a game. Why don't companies make little games anymore?
Yeah, I feel like I played a lot of that game in multiplayer. Two anyway, not 3.
Yeah, I definitely
played a lot of 2 in multiplayer,
yeah.
And I'm not sure whether they had you could do quests. You could play the actual quests in multiplayer. I think you could do it in co-op. So, and you should probably do that really. You should play it in co-op mode. So you actually get the quests done in teams rather than.
Well, everyone should wait and play it with me over the summer then when I'm done at work.
Yeah, there you go. And that's a plan.
Splendid. So, movies, TV, and whatnot. What have we been up to? Anna, you'll have to remind me what I've watched. I don't remember.
We watched X-Men Apocalypse past 2 evenings.
Oh, yeah, that was excellent. That was really good. I liked that a lot. Bearing in mind I've only seen the first 2 X-Men films. Because Anna won't let me watch the rest. Someone did send them to me last year, and we did start watching them. But people warned me off the third one, and...
The third one's not great, no.
They even have a dig at the third one in Apocalypse, which was quite amusing. Bearing in mind how much people have warned me off that one. But no, Apocalypse was really, really good. I liked it a lot. Go watch it, everybody. It's a good film.
Yeah, it's on Sky at the moment. It came out a few days ago. The new premiere on there today is Suicide Squad. So if you've not seen that, that's also on Sky. Yeah,
you don't need to.
X-Men Apocalypse obviously wasn't as good as Suicide Squad, but it was a good film.
We also watched American Gods.
Oh yeah, go on.
That's very good, isn't it? I watched that too.
Yeah, that is good.
That's good. Strange.
It's bizarre, isn't it?
That
it's so
woman
cool, though.
Is so weird.
Yeah.
We all know a girl like that, though, don't we?
Yeah, but I'm fascinated by her. I don't know who she is or why she does what she does. She's mental.
Yeah.
The people are getting smaller, and it's just like, what is happening? Why? Yeah. I just don't get it. But we'll keep watching that. We've only watched 2. I know there's a third one out, but we'll get round to it at the weekend. I think that's it. Yeah, that's it for us. We've not even watched Better Call.
You've not?
Not this week.
This week's so good. It's the first appearance of Saul Goodman, as it were.
Oh, awesome!
Yeah,
right, I need to go and watch that now.
Same here. I didn't even realise I've not seen it this week. Where did I leave off? But yeah, so I guess we can't talk about it if you've only seen it and we haven't.
No, I don't need to say much about it, but I just know it's awesome. The last week's was the court case, was it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But we don't know what the outcome of that was yet, I don't think,
I think that is revealed at the start of this episode, so yeah.
So say no more, or I'll drive up to your house and bottle you.
Yeah.
It's funny, because I know I said on the show that we were finding this slow, and I also said the same about Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., and we started watching both again, just because you'd been saying get back onto Better Call Saul, and Claire had kept saying let's watch Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. again, and I finished the finale of this season last night, and that was a fantastic series. That's an amazing season, and Better Call Saul is like on edge of our seat kind of stuff again, and I don't know what the hell we were thinking. It must be January when Better Call Saul season 3 came back, was it?
Oh no, it's only
back like a month
weekly. Yeah.
Oh right,
okay. It's like the 4th episode, is it? Or 5th episode, is it?
Oh no, of course.
Not that long ago.
How long? I don't know then. So somewhere over the winter, we just decided that we couldn't be bothered with either of these shows, and now suddenly, I don't know, we're just massively into them. And yeah, it's just when we realised we had S.H.I.E.L.D. to watch, we sort of leapt to do it, and it's the same now. I've realised we've got Better Call Saul to watch, but Flash had its climax episode. I think you'll enjoy the season when you ever get around to watching it, Kev. Flash
Blu-ray Day is when I watch the second half of that now.
The finales are all next week, I think, if we're at the right point.
I'm so far behind at this point. I don't think there's any way to catch up without the Blu-ray.
yeah, exactly. I mean, when you get to Blu-ray Day, it'll be interesting. A little bit of me's worried, so I was reading around theories online because I'd, pieced it together in the episode and think I know what will happen next, sort of thing. And there's concerns that if they don't do it right, people will suddenly start thinking the show's a bit weaker than it was. Like, all the others have been great. The Flash has been great all season, but I feel like they need to handle the last episode well, or they could end up, it could be the first misstep that Flash has, because it's been such an awesome show. I noticed some Forbes article where they were moaning about all the plot holes it had, but when I read through the article, the guy that wrote it had literally missed the point in most of the episodes. It was like the whole season's about Barry trying to change the future, and he's going, but he goes back in time all the time and changes the future. And it was like, yeah, but there's a good reason he can't change his future. He's trying to change it because he knows he can, and it's working, and they've explained why. And I hate journalists sometimes, because it's like almost like their boss just says, write something negative about that thing, and they just go and sit out their stall ignoring anything that contradicts them.
Sheepdogs having a go at journalists again. Strap yourselves in, everybody.
No, it wasn't meant to be a rant. I'm just saying, I don't mind them saying they don't like it, it was the way they were saying there's plot holes, this is a plot hole, and I was sat there thinking they covered that off in about episode 2 of the story that we're looking at. And I'm not expecting people to, not like an episode of Lost where you have to keep an eye out for a random thing in the background and then interpret it in the right way. It was questioned, like, well, yeah, you change the future all the time, Barry. Why can't you do it this time? Oh, well, this could be a reason. And then they find out why. And do you know what I mean? It's like they know that people are going to watch it and think that. So they've solved it. But this journo was just like, plot hole.
Oh, I've just remembered something. Speaking of, is it the Arrowverse? Is that what it's called? You seen the trailer for the Black Lightning?
Do you know, I was telling someone about this, and they were smirking and going, "Oh, what the hell was that?" I haven't seen the trailer, but does it look good?
It seems all right. Yeah, I mean, I'm not into that universe. I don't follow it. I just saw a trailer for it online. I was like, yeah, all right, okay, that seems okay. It had a sort of a Luke Cage vibe to it, but I don't know.
No, it's not going to be part of the Arrowverse, apparently.
Is it not? Is it just on the CW? I thought it would be part of the Arrowverse.
Gizmodo has just said it's not part of the Arrowverse, and that is a big mistake. And I feel that it is a big mistake, because now I have no interest in watching it.
Well, watch the trailer anyway, because it did seem all right. It did seem like a genuinely kind of all right program, and I might watch it because it's not part of the Arrowverse now.
Well, yeah, no, that makes sense though if you've not watched any of the rest of it.
Yeah.
But no, the only reason why I kind of tuned into all of them the first couple of times was because they were part of the Arrowverse, and I've kept on them because they've been awesome. Legends of Tomorrow got a lot of forgiveness in season 1 because it's part of the Arrowverse, and whereas I don't really think I want to start a new universe or a new thing.
Yeah.
More importantly, on the topic of the Arrowverse, I smashed my Arrow mug this week.
Again?
No, I've only smashed it once. It was this week.
Oh, right. I'm sorry. I'm getting... because I saw your video. I assume you've done it again since...
No. It's been a very traumatic week. It's been horrible. It got smashed, but luckily I got a replacement. I got some Gorilla Glue so Anna could fix it for me. And
some Gorod Glue.
Yeah, so it's been fixed and I have a new one. So I started the week with 1 Arrow mug and now I have 2. So that's good, I suppose. Yeah, but I'm still sad. I'm still sad about my original one being broken because the new one's not faded yet around the lip area. So I need to fade that by rubbing my beard on it. Well, no, I think it's where my beard rubs on it. It's just faded off all the picture. So it's basically what Arrow would look like if he was bald, because his head just stops. So I've just been rubbing the new one against my face, trying to make it match.
Very good. Sheepdog, have you seen Doctor Who this week?
Yeah, again.
They're cranking around, aren't they? Quality every time.
We realised that obviously we're going to be away for one of the weeks, and I was actually a little bit like, oh man, I'm going to miss it. Actually, I suppose if I get back from Comic-Con at the right time, I might get to watch it.
Yeah, and I play it immediately after.
Cool. But no, I again said it last week, it's a shame that Capaldi's leaving now that he's got decent writing in place. It's weird because I don't think the writing team changed, did it?
I don't know.
Moffat's still there, isn't he?
I don't know how much of a control he's in it of it now, though. That's the thing.
Yeah.
He could be handing the reins over, sort of, and just overseeing it, and just slowly stepping away. I don't know.
Whoever's writing now is hitting what I wanted it to be all along.
Yeah. And this week's episode is basically, I see this as the beginning of the end. Am I right in imagining how it ends?
Yeah. I know what you mean. It's sort of it's already breaking him up, isn't it? Really?
Can we spoil it? Well, it's not much of a spoiler, is it? Really?
The blindness, you mean?
Yeah.
It's interesting.
He gets blinded, and then basically at the end, everyone assumes the TARDIS has fixed him, sort of thing. But he's not. He's still blind.
I wonder what they're going to do with that, because it's just a random.
Yeah, it's just like, is he going to get better, or is this like the beginning of the time to regenerate sort of thing, which is inevitably on the horizon somewhere?
It is bizarre that his species, like, I mean, he's basically, I don't know, if his arm was permanently broken, he just think, right, if this gets on my nerves, I'll just kill myself and regenerate with a fixed one. No, I'd be interested in seeing what you thought of this year's ones, Kev, because I am inclined to agree with you that previously they've gone down the route of it being a child's program at times, and it has been very cringy. Yet this season they seem to have, I mean, it's got to the point actually
it's
now
dark, isn't it?
Yeah, my daughter watched the first one, and then she said to me and my wife, I'm just going to go to bed. I'm not going to watch this week's episode. I had nightmares last week. And we looked at her like, it's Doctor Who? Like, come on, you'll be all right. And she said, no, you're all right. I'll be upstairs. See you later. And went to bed. And then the next week she watched it, but was like clutching me. And the zombies the other day.
They all seem to be quite horror-based, don't they?
Yeah.
All of them. There's usually like one or two maybe in the series that are kind of like a bit like spooky and horror sort of based, but they're all sort of like that way this time. It's kind of cool.
Yeah, and I mean, they just seem to have decided we're going to make this dark. They do seem to be getting a bit of a vibe of the original Doctor and the early days of when it was a bit more scary. Because this was the program that's supposed to make people hide behind the sofa in fear, and it hasn't been like that for a long time.
Thinking about it, this far, there's so many episodes have been there. 4?
Yeah.
4 episodes, and there has been no Daleks, Cybermen, or any other reoccurring really.
And interestingly, they made me think. So when I saw the advert and the suits were walking around, I wondered if that was going to turn out to be a bit of a Cyberman reveal, and it didn't happen. And then the ice one, I thought that was going to be something to do with the ice monsters. There's been a couple of times when I've thought traditionally they might have used one of their old ones, and they've written a villain or a thing that's nothing related to them, and doesn't feel like it's just a Cyberman story without Cybermen in it. It only occurred to me sort of afterwards that it could have equally been one, and it wouldn't have lost anything. I think they are going to have the Cybermen at some point. I don't know.
They usually do, don't they? They usually have either a Cyberman or a Dalek story at some point. Yeah.
It's some original version of them, I think.
Yeah, but Mrs. Imminent, isn't she? I'm so sure I saw her at the end of the preview next week.
Second.
Yeah, she's somewhere. I think she's the one that's in that locked up room.
I think it's the fella who played it, John Sims.
That'd be cool anyway. I think that'd be good anyway. If that is the case, because he was awesome in it.
Maybe two masters somehow.
Yeah, that's kind of cool.
Yeah, but no, loving it. They've done a really good job.
Yeah.
Splendid. Anna, why aren't you watching that?
Because after Matt Smith left, I didn't really like him. I watched it a few times. I was just like, it got too kiddish, and I was just like, I can't bother. I just don't have the time or the energy to put into this old man. I like them fresh and clean cut.
I agree with you on the last season, but maybe give this one a try from the preview. I don't know about this one coming up.
I don't like Matt Lucas though.
No, I don't know. I was sick when I saw that he was coming back into it. I was just enraged.
Back into it? Why has he been in it before?
Yeah, he was in it.
He's been in it bits.
He's a robot. He's like a cyborg type thing, and he got completely decapitated a few seasons back, and then last season or whenever it was, and the Doctor has kind of just pieced him back together, but he's dark now. He's a bit nasty, and
he's a piece of work, isn't he?
There was a point actually where what was it he said? Somebody said something like, I've got the villain in my sights, and the camera just zoomed slightly on him doing this grin. I can't remember exactly what happened, but I turned to Claire and said, he's going to be a baddie. I've just got this feeling, so I'm calling it now. I'll probably be way wrong, but I've got a feeling he's going to turn out to be bad, and he's going to either turn on the Doctor or whatever. And I think that, again, would be great, because he's played a really serious character so far, and This is probably the best he's acted in anything I've seen him in, because he's normally terrible.
Yeah, I'd agree with that.
Splendid. So has anyone else got any other movies or TV to talk about before we enter the wonderful world of comic books?
Prison Break is a little bit now, really.
They made it out?
Yes.
Well, there you go then. The series over.
No, but that's no, it's not. You think that would be the end of it, but it hasn't been so far. I'm not really sure what to expect, and I don't feel connected to it now. I know it isn't going beyond this season anyway. I'm trying to think what else. Unbreakable Kimmy Schmidt is back on Netflix this week, so I'll watch that at some point. I haven't watched it yet, but I will. The Once Upon a Time ending, they're completely changing that show from next season, which is rather surprising. They've basically just finished the story at 6 seasons and decided to take it in a completely different direction next year, which was quite surprising.
So, final season of Once Upon a Time has been announced then.
That's what I kind of thought. It was like, okay, it's a bit like Scrubs, the interns, or whatever they called it.
Is the new main character a person whose superpower is jumping sharks?
It might as well be. It was a bit bizarre because they've kind of carried the story on with a new character. Well, not with a new character, with a character. But it echoes the start of the original story a little bit. And I was just kind of like, really? And reading through it, I'd sent Claire a text of all the characters that are leaving. And there's basically 4 of the main cast that are staying. And they are decent people, like decent characters, but they're losing like the 4 main people plus all of the supporting people that normally were in it, except like 2 of the main characters and 2 of the background characters, I think. And it's like, okay, you're putting a lot of faith in those 4 people, to keep this going in any fashion, and we'll see, I suppose. You can't win really with TV, though, can you? Because they could either do a spin-off where they, instead of calling it Once Upon a Time, they call it something else.
Happily Ever After.
It's exactly what I almost said, and then I didn't do it. But then you got the gamble of, is it going to be Joey or is it going to be Fraser? Whereas, I don't know, carrying it on, the first thing I thought was it's just Scrubs again. That got canned so quickly once that happened. He's got a new show, and he's Zach Braff, based on the Startup podcast, which you should listen to. As somebody, this is completely off topic a little bit, but you, Kevin, and the listeners, if they haven't already, should listen to Startup seasons 1, 2, and 3. But for you specifically, it's about a guy who's quitting his job, and it's a real life story, like real life show, where he has quit and he's starting his own media company. But he's doing it in podcasts. Obviously, you're doing it in YouTube. But he talks about how it's affected his family, how he's got pitches with people, investment, backing, turned it into a company from where you are now as a standing still person right up to when he's got a company called Gimlet Media and he's churning out podcasts left, right and centre, and they're turning over millions. But all 3 seasons are about his company, and as it goes on a bit, they incorporate other companies that they just want to talk about. But for someone like you, I think you'd find that really interesting. And I know it's gone off on one of it, but Zach Braff's making a TV show based on the guy who made this podcast, which is a bit convoluted. But I mean, watching the advert, it screams this is going to get cancelled, the TV show. But the podcast is perfect. It's such a good show. And as I say, if you listen to that, I reckon it'll probably inspire you slightly to try a different thing on your path or whatever. And
it offends me that Zach Braff's getting old. I can't really bring myself to look at him now.
He doesn't look much different, but he's
like nearly 50 though, isn't he?
Is he really? Oh my God.
They're all in their 40s now. I was looking through the cast on Wikipedia the other day. They're all in their 40s. Carla is in her 50s now, I think. And it's just ridiculous that they're all getting old. They need to pack it in. They're supposed to be young. make that happen. Anna, are you staying with us for comics this week?
No.
Well, would you like to tell people where they can find you on the internet then?
Yeah, I'm at Miss Lelujo.
Splendid. Well, Pip. I shall see you soon. Everyone else will see you in a couple of weeks, unless I see you at Comic-Con.
Mm-hmm.
See you on Saturday.
Yep. Okay. Bye-bye.
Yeah, bye.
Bye.
Right, I've not read anything this week. I've been too busy. I haven't.
You need to catch up.
I know. I have got the second trade of Mockingbird arrived on my doorstep this week, so I will read that over the weekend. But I've not read anything at all. Have you read it?
Yeah. I bought the single issues, Jim, because I got cancelled sort of mid. It got cancelled, didn't it? To like 3 issues into the end, didn't it? Yeah. 3 issues past the first trade. So it was almost certain it wasn't going to get another trade.
Well, it looks like the trade has got those 3 issues plus some classic Mockingbird.
Yeah, it has. And I went, well, I don't need to read that. I'll just buy the book anyway, just to support it, because it is genuinely a cool book. That is a whole cool series in general. It's a shame it's gone, but here's what it is.
Indeed, but that's the closest I got to a comic this week. That's the only time I touched one.
Cool.
I have still been just continuing to binge Sandman. I really want you guys to get into it, but I don't want to lend you my ones because I like having them lined up. I've got them all lined in a row now, counting up through the ones I've read, and I waxed lyrical on it last week. It's just good. It's just different, and I think American Gods shows what sort of person he is. That he just comes up with this mad sort of story. But get on it. I mean, other than that, I think I've only really touched on the odd DC one. To be fair, I'm a little bit light on anything new to wax lyrical on.
Pork and beans. How about you, sir?
I've gone a bit crazy for books this week. I've read quite a lot for me, really. Let's start with... What have I started with? Black Science. I've talked about it before. I've just read Volume 2 this week. And I really like this book. I really like this series. If you don't remember, Black Science is about, like I say, a group of people who get like this... This guy invents like this trans-dimensional like machine, and it teleports them to a different world, and they can't pick where to go in. They can't tell it to stop. It just keeps transporting someone every however many days. I think it's 4 days, something like that, 3 or 4 days. It just goes again and it pings them somewhere else, and they're trying to fix this machine to get them back home, basically. And there's a whole goings on of like the conflict in the group and what have you, and there's like a lot of bitching going on and what have you. But yeah, I've read all of Volume 2, which is it's just a strange book, but kind of cool at the same time. It's the end of the first volume. Somebody dies, and you assume who killed him. The person who killed him is the baddie of the thing, but he comes back into this book as like a hero. He just turns up pretty much as like a white knight in shining armour, coming to rescue the entire team. And it just flips things on its head. It's just the person who dies turns up again, right towards the end of this volume, and I'm like, what? I don't understand this. But obviously, there are multi universes of people turning up. So they basically, I think what I can gather is this person has turned up again from another dimension with the same sort of trans-dimensional machine to come and save them. I'm presuming that's what they're guessing at. It sort of ends at that point. But it's really cool. I really do like it. It's well for read. I mean, I picked that one up for a £5, Volume 2. So but I do like it. That was what I was reading the start of the week. Towards the end of the week, I've read. I mentioned last week about the Eisner Awards. I was talking about last week, wasn't it?
You were.
Yeah, And I've bought 3 books from the Eisner Awards. The Kim and Kim book that I mentioned last week. I bought a book called Briggsland, which I will talk about in a bit, and I finished the book called Clean Room. Have you heard of this one?
I have. Clean Room sat on my shelf. It's on my to-do list.
It is
2 volumes of it, I believe. I have sat on my
shelf. Is there another volume? Because I want to get another volume of it. So I probably will. I'll probably save it till next week now at Comic Con. So good. I just picked it up because it was nominated for in the Eisner Awards. And the premise is the main. I think that probably the main character of it is a reporter who has lost her husband to suicide, and she tries to commit suicide at the very start of the book, just because she's basically like living in hell sort of thing, and she blames this corporation that sort of, it seems like it's akin to something like Scientology sort of thing, or some sort of cultish brainwashing type of thing. So she goes to confront them, and basically this woman who's running this organisation is basically can see demons and stuff, and there's basically a whole another like demon verse. It reminded me of sort of like Outcast. Kev.
Okay.
I don't know, but basically, but only because of what I've seen.
The pop band, not the book, presumably.
No.
They kept singing "Hey Ya" all the way through.
No. You know what I mean, though.
I do.
There's just like it's a real dark tone to it. The way that the demons and the monsters are drawn and depicted. I mean, I've only seen the program, so I can't even imagine what the actual. Because I imagine the Kirkman books are much more graphic than the TV program was. It reminds me of that crossed with Preacher.
Okay.
It's just bizarre, but I wasn't sure at first. When I read the first issue, I was like, I'm not so sure. I'm going to keep reading, and by the end of it, I'm just like, I need to read more of this. And I read this basically yesterday. I don't read books. You know full well I don't read books quickly. I read an entire book yesterday, pretty much. And the last one I did that with was the Wicked and Divine. So,
well, I might pluck it off of my shelf and read it over the weekend.
In that sort of category at the minute, it's so good. I only, like I say, I picked it up because I knew who Gail Simone was. I know the name, sort of thing, and it was on the Eisner Award nomination.
I think that was why I bought it, just because her name was on the front of it.
Yeah. Who was she again? She's
done many things, Wonder Woman amongst others.
Yeah, Wonder Woman. Yeah, she's done a lot of DC stuff, hasn't she? But yeah, it's cool. It's graphic, but still very, very cool. And like I say, it reminds me of Outcast and Preacher. And Preacher is in the back of the book. Actually, I think it's a vertical book, so they're telling you to buy Preacher.
Well, I've already done that. They're getting it. They're getting it all in the wrong order. It should have told me to buy this in Preacher. Ring them up and tell them they're wrong.
I'll ask them. The last one I've started reading. I've probably read about 4 issues of this now. This is another Eisner Award winner on Briggsland. Have you heard of Briggsland, Kev?
I have not.
No, this. I don't know why I feel like this is set in sort of like real world sort of thing. I don't know. I want to say it feels like Southern Bastards, but I don't even know because I've never read Southern Bastards. But in my mind, that's what I feel like Southern Bastards reads like. I might be completely wrong.
You should read Southern Bastards in real world. Excellent. Yeah. It's just it's the story of a high school American football team and how the coach basically rules the town because they keep winning and then they stop winning, and what happens then. That's basically Seven Bastards. There's lots of murder and fighting and crazy stuff going on, but it's all real world.
From Humble Bundle.
It's excellent.
First couple of lines, I'll have to read that.
Well, Briggsland is about Briggsland is basically a community, like a small village that they basically just said, like, they built a border around their settlement sort of thing in America. I think it's upstate New York. They just built it up and they are cut off from the world, sort of thing, from the government, from everything, pretty much. They're like, sort of like the Amish or something. I don't know. They don't want to acknowledge the outer world.
Okay.
And it's this guy. I think he's called Jim Briggs. Is the big daddy. And right at the start of the book, his wife leaves him. He's in prison for trying to assassinate the president. And he's in prison, and she's basically going, "I've had enough. I'm taking over this establishment. I'm taking it over." And she's then like got to go back to this town, which all love this guy who basically has been running the entire sort of compound in the village, and all of the criminal sort of undergoings that's going on, that he's been running it all from prison via her. And she said, "I'm not doing it anymore. I'm doing it. What are you going to do about it, basically, because you're stuck in here." And then she's got to then get home. She goes home, and she's got to speak to her sons, because she doesn't know whether her sons have been got to by their father, sort of thing, from prison.
I might have read this. This sounds awfully familiar.
You might have done. It's really, really good. It is really good. And it's just, like I say, it's very real. It's very much more real, because a lot of the books I'm reading are all sort of fantasy and completely out of there, sort of like crazy stuff. But this feels very much in a real world sort of situation, sort of thing. And yeah, I've only read like 3 issues, so I'll probably talk about it on the next show that we do and actually give you a full rundown of it. But it is really, really good, and I think you will like this one, Kev. I really do. I'm cheap on that, man.
Cool.
Yeah.
Splendid.
That is it for me. I mean, that is a lot for me. I've probably read 6, 12, close to 15 to 16 books issues this week. It's a lot for me.
Goodness
Eyes will
me.
be aching.
Yeah, I know.
Well, in that case, I will do a final reminder for folk that if they do want to come and join us for a Bodines meetup at Comic-Con next weekend, hit us up on Twitter, which you can do as a podcast at MGUK Podcast. But I don't read that. Don't know if anyone else ever reads that. I don't even have it on my phone. So if you want to tell me to go and meet you for a Bodines or a beverage at some point, you're better off tweeting at Lelujo.
Or at RB6K.
Or at Pub 1986.
Excellent. You can also see I've done it differently. I'm very impressed with myself. You can also like us on Facebook at facebook.com/MatureGamePodcast, or you can check out all of Kev's delicious YouTube goodies at lelujo.fm. And apparently this is the only place where I ever mention the fact I've got a website. I keep forgetting to mention it actually on YouTube. But yeah, I have a website. Go do it. Do my website. Do it now. That's your lot. We all happy?
Yeah.
Sheepdog, you're coming down on the train on the Saturday now, are you? So you're going to be with us all day.
There is a debate at the moment as to whether I want to drive to London from here and then hand my car to my wife and she drive on to Essex, because it adds like half an hour to the journey for her if we do it that way, or whether I just get on the train with you. And I can't decide. How much was the train?
For us, like £100. Because we're going first class, and there's 2 of us, so I don't know how much it is for you to sit back with the cattle.
I'll figure it out. I'll let you know in good time, though.
Splendid. See you next week, boys and girls.
Have a good week.
Thanks for listening.